Hi, it's Matt with Kyma Boats, and I wanted to measure a few things. I've got a lot of folks that before they come to the Kyma VIP experience, they want to know some of the dimensions of the boat before they make the trip out and run the boat in person or invite us to come to their area if it makes sense. So let's measure the most commonly asked one, which is the clearance of the tower from the water line. I'll also measure it on the trailer so we have that when I get the boat back on the trailer. So that is about 98 inches from the water line to the top of the ski pylon. Now, the boat is practically empty. Matter of fact, I was getting a fuel alarm coming in and zero ballast. So this is floating about as high as it will float. No people, virtually no gear on that. So let's lower the tower and see what the bridge clearance is there. So you see how easy it is to lower the tower. We're about right at 86 inches to the top of the pylon. So that's the bridge clearance with this tower. Now, we have another tower, we call it the prime tower, that goes a little bit lower, and I'll put those measurements up as well if you have a really low bridge that you need to get clearance for. Now, next we'll measure the seat. We've got the bed layout. I don't know if you were aware, but this is a really cool feature that will slide in and give us a wind dam up in the bow. But we've got seating for, and we can take these out as well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people up in the bow. You can sit that way, or if you want to sit this way, you can easily get kids 1, 2, 3, 4, and potentially even 5, 6 if you really wanted that many in the bow. That gets to be a little full, but it is doable. So when we measure on the actual usable space up in the bow, we're 72 inches wide, right in the widest part, and it's pretty darn close. You're about 63 inches wide up in the very front of the boat. You also have these two pads if you want to sit facing backwards and watch the rider. You've got 2 nice comfortable seats there and 1 in the middle as well. Now, as far as depth goes, you're at about 53 feet or 53 inches in the depth there. And because this boat was designed for comfort, the width of the seats are 23 inches about at the backrest. So nice and wide all the way up. You're at 22 inches all the way up to the front. So a nice wide setting up front. You've got your anchor locker, and the depth into the boat, you're at just about 17 inches deep into the boat. And with the grab handles, it makes it a nice safe place for the kids to sit up front when you're out running. You're at 19, almost 20 inches wide through the walkway, and I'm 6'2", 225, and so I've got plenty of space coming through, plenty of space to spread out as well. Now, as far as distance from the seat, I can easily sit there at 6'2". The seat's in the all the way back position, and you've got 31 inches to the back of the backrest, and you've got some nice leg room there from about 21 inches from the edge of the seat up to where the speakers start and that bulkhead is, and that's for both the front and the back. On the back seats here in the cockpit, we're again 21 inches wide on the seat bases, and you're about 49, 50 inches in depth on the seats here. Now on the swim platform, we've got the walkway, a 19-inch walkway, and the really nice thing I like about it is there's no giant step-ups. You've got a 12-inch step-up, a 1-foot step-up here, just under 12 inches, about 11.5 inches from here to here. You're about 8.5 inches from the mid-step here, and then you're about 14 inches from the swim platform to that first step up. So there's no real big giant step up to get into the boat. Everything is really manageable and good, easy access to and from the water on the boat. Now, the height of the gunnel, so inside the boat, we talked about it up in the bow. So you're about 33.5 inches deep with the freeboard into the boat. So it's nice and deep. Same thing in the back here. You're 17.5 inches deep, almost 18 inches on that backrest. So a nice deep boat where you really feel like you're in the boat, but not so deep that you can't see out of it. You've got good vantage points from everywhere, regardless of the seat, even for the kids up in the bow. Head clearance I get asked about a lot. I'm 6'2", I don't have any shoes on here. That is just over 6'7", so 6'7" clearance to there, 6'10" clearance here, 6'10" clearance there. So 6'7", is your clearance to this lowest hanging structural piece right here. Now the nice thing, the clearance for the wet sound speakers, they're placed off to the side, so you really got to go out of your way to hit them. But just to give it to you, you're right at about 6 foot. So if I lean in at 6'2", I can hit my head, but if you're 6 foot, you would duck right under, and it's the same on this side as well. The width in the back of actual usable cockpit space, you're about 80 inches wide from backrest to backrest there, and in the actual boat itself, up here where it's the widest point, you're 86 inches wide here. So for a 23-foot boat, and you truly are 23 foot from the bow back to the edge of the boat itself is 23 feet. You add on the swim platform, that makes it 25. So it feels, for a 23-foot boat, it feels huge on the inside, and has a lot of functional, usable, comfortable space. All right, so we're back off the water. Now let's go ahead and measure to the top of the tower with it all the way up. We'll measure to the tower down, and we'll measure to the windshield, which will be the height of the prime. So up, we're 127 inches to the top of the ski pylon. Nice feature, I can easily turn the battery switch back on from the trailer. There we're about 115 inches with the tower in the down position. Now we'll go to the top of the windshield, and we are at 97 inches to the top of the windshield on the trailer. So that is your dimensions on the boat, so you know if it's going to fit where you need it to be. 5,000 pound dry weight, 3,000 pounds of ballast, 8.5 foot beam.